Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with NM. I am NM and here we learn coding by building real projects together. Whether you are a beginner or leveling up your skills, you will always take something practical away. Let's jump straight into the today's project. So talking about today's project is based on Flask and using Python, of course, and we will be creating APIs and we will be learning from scratch how to create APIs using Flask in Python. So first thing first, there are CURD operations. If you talk about the APIs, which is get, post, update, and delete. In this video, live video, we will be doing two APIs, which is get and post, and following in other lives, we will be doing update and delete. So first, the few basic instructions for all of you if you are uh, doing it right now. So first thing is you need to have Python installed in your system and make sure the path is added to your system environment. This is a basic requirement. You need to have Python. Then just create a obviously folder structure. I have named it Flask if you see on the screen. And here we need to install Flask. So the command is pip install Flask. So I've already done it. It is there in my system. So it will say the requirement is already fulfilled. If it is not there in your system, it will download and then install. See, it says requirement already satisfied. Done, 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 done. Everything. So after that, we need to create an app.py file. .py is a Python extension. So okay, so might someone has this very basic doubt that do we really need to name the file app.py? Yes, the .py is important, but app you can name it anything you want. I just want to be professional, so I'm giving it app. You can also give it server.py or anything else. So simple. So the file is being created. I'm going slow in this live if you all are actually coding with me. So it's pretty simple. First, we need to import our Flask. So from Flask import my X the main keyword, the T is not working in this keyword. Something wrong with the keyboard or might the keyboard now has been gone. Okay, iska. So that's why T is I'm pressing it from my keyboard. Flask and that's it. From Flask import Flask. That's it. Then we need to create app. I will explain the things later on. First, we will finish off the code and it auto suggests, but on live I'm doing it on first time. That's why I'm not hitting tab for auto suggest. So first thing we will be creating the get call and we will be testing this get call, which is obviously this all is backend thing. So we need to test all the APIs call in Postman. There are other softwares also, you can try it, but I'm using Postman. I'm comfortable with Postman. So to create any call in Python, so we have already created app and we call our Flask function or method onto that app. So then app consists everything and we are creating the route. Again, T from here, route. And what will be the route? Now www.google.com/photos or anything. So the route is that slash photos. What is the domain? Google.com, www.google is the domain. So domain is a friend, the route, or you can also say the endpoint in backend is different. Here in Python, we say as route in Node.js or Java in any other programming language. If you are doing creating an API, it's known as endpoint. Generally in web, it's known as endpoint. So here let's task. So what I'm doing is here we will be the complete project. I will be explaining to you in the simple words. Is we will be creating a task. Task means simple things. It will have an ID. The task is complete or not. We will have a boolean value, true and false, and also the title, or you can give the name also, that what task is being done. So here get call will bring all the task. Then we will creating the post. It will creating the new task. Then in other live video we will be doing the update and delete. Also going on further, we will be creating an UI for this, and then we will be connecting our backend with our UI, which mostly be in React, or else you all comment you want it in React or Angular. Anything is good. That's it. So simple at the rate dot route slash task. Now we need to define which call we am. It is a get call, post call. How Python will recognize, or how Flask will recognize that this app.route slash task is for which method. So it's simply we need to like method, and again the issue with the T. So sorry for that. Bear with me when there is T because I need to type it from my keyboard, and simply get. Make sure it is caps. Done. Now the T is not in caps. Okay. So simply here we are telling Flask indirectly to Python that app.route to slash task when user go to the slash task, and if at that time the method is get call, then what needs to be done? Then indentation. Python is based on indentation, so it is required or not. Not here, the indentation is not required because here we are creating that method. Let's go task. Task done. A method is being created. Now inside this, make sure you don't miss out the colon. If you are familiar with the Python coding, then you won't do such type of mistakes. Simple task. And now from where we load this task, means if we are getting this data, means get call will get the data from xyz files. Here we don't have that file, so first we need to create that file which will be holding all the data. So you can simply go with an static array or predefined array over here, and then you can directly call that array in the task and then load it. But that is, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go with that approach. So simply we will be creating one JSON file. Let's work with JSON as it is we are doing with the API, the world of web. It's always in JSON. So I will be creating one new file name task.json. Simple, it is being created. It is an empty array file right now. So make sure you have this in that file. Now, before utilizing that file or using that file over here, we need to import that file. So let's import that file also. Before that, as we are working with JSON, we need to convert the data into the JSON also. And also there are other stuffs also. While time of coding, I will be explaining. The first thing first, let's import JSON. Done. Meantime, let me switch chat window. Okay. Okay. Everything's good up till now. Okay, here. So directly we can use that task.json file from here. Then again we need to write a logic that how all the data inside that file will be loading over here. So that complexity I will be handling in different method. So I will be creating different method, name something load underscore task. Task is it will have a number of tasks, and then first thing first we will check that file exists or not. So in here to check the file exists or not, if not, simple Python code. So os dot path, then dot exist, and we need to name that file. So again, using that file directly over here, I will be creating one variable which will be holding everything. Task underscore, let's name it file, and it should be equals to simple r task.json. Simple. Now one thing I've used over here is another library known as os, so we need to import that also. Import os. Simple. Now this task file done. This is done. Very basic simple logic over here. If this file, in short, if this file exists or not, we are just checking it. If it does not exist, just simply return an empty array. Or else means else. If it exists, then we need to open it, and from that file, inside that file, we need to get all the data. So that simply in Python, it is we are opening file means we are reading it in the read mode. There are multiple types of mode: read, write, and here I'm just renaming it as f file. Simple, because I don't want to write this complete thing again and again. So for this returning, and we need to return in a form of JSON. JSON dot load, and simple as this complete thing we change it to a simple f. So here it will be an f. That's it. The loading means the logic of everything inside that task.json file gets loaded when we hit the slash task onto the get method is done. Here just we need to now call this task method. Simply then we just need to use this task variable which is holding everything. So return. Now here it is, this JSON is different, this work of this JSON is different, and now what I'm going to use here, this JSON JSONify JSONify, the work of this function is different. I will explain it once the code and everything is done. So here I want to again task some printing thing, task, and simple we will be returning that variable stash. Now this, make sure your colors, the VS Code helps in this color, so you identify this is my text and this is my variable in blue color. Also the status code is important as we are working with the APIs. If it returns the data, the status code should be 200. And simple, uh, the code is done. The simple get method code is done. But our app.py is not completed yet. If I will explain you this also, why we are doing this. Ma underscore main simple. This is done and it should always run in debug mode. Oh, sorry, true. Done. Now let's save it. To run this file, simply Python and app.py. Just hit enter. It will show you it is running on which port, 127001. So let's hit this in a Postman. If you're not familiar with the Postman, you need to install this and then create your account, basic authorization authentication from your Gmail. UI will be in front of you. Just hit on new and HTTP. Here by default it is on get. There are others also, post, put, patch, delete, head option. But right now we are looking for get. Simply this is your domain slash our APIs task, and let's hit it. You see it is an empty array, returning an empty array. Why this is coming? Because we have done in this way, we have coded in this way. See, if you remain everything, it will just return you an empty array. Let's, for the testing purpose, I just add few things over here, and then we have save it. Let's go to the Postman and hit. Okay, we need to restart the server also. Okay, we will test this. Okay, let me go to the comment section and check. Okay, done. So we are done with the get call. We will be moving on to the post call. Meanwhile, I will wait for few minutes. If anyone has doubt, you can comment and we can solve it and just move it with the post. I will be waiting for a few minutes. Meantime, if you really want to see the post, let okay. This is known as an array of JSON. If you are not aware with the format, I think most of you will be. And this is a sample structure what we will be creating. TITLE, title. You can name it anything. You can name it task also. Title simple. And what we are doing right now is learning Flask. So let's give that title again. Don't forget the comma. This is a structure of our JSON. Done if the task is completed or not. So right now, not. Let's save this. It's restarted. Okay. Reloading done. Now let's hit it. Or else I need to. Okay, I got it. What the issue is. See. So right now, now let's hit it again. That's what I was assuming. Let's go back to our code and see. So here in terminal, debug true, what does it? Does it? It gives you the detail level of logs. Then you can go through it and you can fix the issues. So here, if you simply see what's the issue is, it's this. It's the just typo of it's ist. Simple. And let's save it again. Restart. We have ID learn flask. Let's make the ID 2. Save it. Reload the server again. Then come here. Hit it. Okay, let's go to the console and fix those error again. Line number 18, so you can go to 18. It says here what's the issue over here is we haven't imported this. That's the issue. I'm purposely making this all of issue so that how to debug uh, in Python in VS Code. So name JSON is not defined. So you all will thinking, okay, I'm using it, but we need to import this. So here, this is again inside Flask only, so you don't need to import separately. Now let's save it. Again, it restarted. Now let's hit it and see, voila, done. It's done. And also, if you see, it is hitting on 127, that is my local host. We are hit the get call, the route, which is the endpoint is slash task, and also the status code is 200. And the thing we have inside is id2 learn flash and false. The same thing we got in the postman false id2 learn flash, as simple as that. Now, okay, okay, so let's move on to the post call. uh, that is also very simple, but here just getting the get call is very simple. We just need to load the data from our JSON, and that JSON is also acting as a temporary local DB file. So you can also use MongoDB if you want. In future, we will be doing a complete project with the MongoDB. Also, if you want Flask, we will be doing a backend in Flask using Python and the UI with React. If not, then we will be doing the same thing in using Node.js and Express.js. So let's move on to simple, the post call, which is also in post call. Yes, in post call, we need to save the data which will be hitting and we entering into the Postman. From there, we will be hitting. We need to save. So let's take an example how this works. First thing first, you create an account in XYZ. For example, let's take Gmail only. You created an account. So creating an account is a post call. You enter your details, your uh, email ID, which is available, of course, and the password, and you hit create. So creating an account, anything creating in the web is a post call. That call goes to the server, and server checks if there is any condition. So it will check for all the condition. If that condition satisfied, then from there, from the server, all the details will be pushed down to the DB, and a new user will be created in the DB. For us, this is our temporary task.json. So new ID title means new task will be created here. Simple. Then again, when you log in, it's also a post call. It's not a get call. When you log in, it's also a post call because at that time it needs to be checked, means it needs to get authenticated from the user, that first the user exists, your email ID exists, then the password. That is also a post call. What is get call? For an example, like any e-commerce website you're visiting, and there you see the name of some xyz stuff, the price of that, description of the image of that. This all is not there in the UI itself. It is a backend in schema. From there, it is being called with the help of API, with the help of server, and then it is being utilized in the UI, and then you are seeing in the browser. So that is a get call to get the data what we have already done here over here. Let's move on to the uh, post call. Simple. So same thing we will be doing over here. It's at the rate app dot route, and here. So post call also, if you want, you can change the route, but for uh, time being or for the ease of explanation, I'm keeping it same. But just don't get confused because the method is different. If you are hitting on the same URL, same endpoint, or same route, but the method is get, the data won't go, and you will be seeing why it is not working. So simply, if you need to make sure that everything is in the place, method also, the route also, or else you can have the different route name. Simple as that. Same method and equals to just a second, methods equals to and here POS and capital T, post. This is done. So we have just created the post route. Simple one line of code, but what will happen inside this will be going inside our method. So create underscore task. It's issue with the T. So now first we need to load the data which is there already in our temporary DB, temporary database task.json. Why we need to load it? We need to also iterate and check few things. I will be explaining you in time of coding on that line. Task equals to load load task. Simple, because we have already created that method, we are just reusing it. It's very easy. Then I also need data and request dot get underscore JSON. Done. So now again, this request, if you see, there is an almost orangish yellow color underline which suggests you this is not defined. So we need to define request, and simply this is also coming from Flask, and then voila, that warning or error, we have just dodged one future error. Then if not data, or here what I'm saying is if not complete data, or the main thing is like here, this is title. The main thing is over here is title, because every new task will be created will be false. You're creating a new task at that time only, you can't complete it, or you're just thinking and creating a new task, and before creating it can't be completed. Simple basic logic. So that's why that done will always be false, and ID that we will be controlling. The user needs to just enter the task. So here the two things are uh, obviously one thing is static and the other thing we will be manipulating. So the important thing over here is the complete data, or the title is missing from the postcode, title, not in data. Simple. Then what? Return simple JSON file. Again, error should be error, and simple error we will be typing over here is, what is the simplest error? Title is required. For in your case, it doesn't, if you want to go with task, you can go with task. You need to rename this. So also here, title, title is requred. Title is required, and of course, don't forget the status code is 400. Bad request. Then, if everything works fine, if title exists, then what? Then we need to create a new task. Then ts task, simple, and inside it, as I've already said, the ID we will be controlling. So how we will be controlling is length of tasks. Now you will understand why I on the line number 22 here I will just loaded the entire thing task.json data over this variable name as task. Task coming outside plus 1, as simple as that. So the length of it, obviously currently the length of this is 1. The complete length of this is 1, means obviously it is an array, so it start with 0. So but length will return as 1. So ID, the next new task I will be creating, automatically it will be assigning as 2. Then again, if you create a new task, then again the length will be 2, again 1 added, ID will be 3. This was a simple logic over here. And title will be coming from the user data. From here, the data is what, request dot get JSON. This is get JSON, means the user will enter, or obviously we are the developers, we are testing it, so we will be entering that title in the form of JSON. So request, it is coming in a form of request. The post call is obviously coming in a form of request to the server itself. If this is clear, then okay. If not, you can comment. I will be re-explaining it to you all. So the request dot get JSON is we are getting the JSON, storing in the variable name as data. So that data simply it's hold title. But to make sure it's just holding title, we will add data, and just we just want title, although user will only give title, but safe coding is a best coding. Why just you want to revisit this and fix everything? Just go with that flow, because we need the title. So data holding everything inside that, we need title only. And why is this possible? Because this is list. How this is possible? Data box bracket. If you're familiar with Python, this I have created a list. That is why from list I need to use the JSONify to convert this list into an JSON while time of getting the output in the Postman. I will explain you that in detail, but here I am explaining because here I have showcased that I am using or treating that data as a list. Okay, and the last thing is done. So this will be always as false. Done. So our new task logic has been created. Simple. Now let's move on to the next thing. I'm going very slow, as if you are coding with me then and also trying to understand the stuffs, that's why I'm going it very slow. Now once the new task has been created, we need to append it. Obviously it it won't automatically go and add into the task.json. We need to add it, we need to append it. And what we need to append is, of course, the new task is holding our data. Simple. Now appending doesn't means it will update our task.json file. We need to save everything to that file. So we need to have one new uh, logic. So I am typing that over here first. What we need to save is, because everything this task hold the old data. Now the new data, with this line we are appending the new data to the old data. For example, we have id1 and id2 already existing in the task.json. Now we have created an id3 with the title learning react. Okay, this data is appended in the same task itself because we are treating it as a list. So if you know, there are multiple append and slice, everything we can use on list. So we are appending this new task to this list. Now everything is added inside the task. Now let's push it or save it to our temporary database, which is task.json. So that logic we need to write, but I need to call it over here. So directly I've just name I want to give of that method. I've done it. So let's create that method. Def save underscore again task. So T is now getting into my nerves of this keyword. It's not. This morning it was working right. Just before going live, I think on 6:30 or 6:45, I was testing out few things. So that time only this key stops working. Anyways, so we have created that. Now this will be here. If you observe, the new task is appended to that task, and here that method is, and this is a parameterized method, means parameterized function. Why? Because we are saving, we are telling Python or this code in that post call this method and pass this variable. Now means our function or our method should be parameterized. So again, I just don't want to confuse you or and myself. I am just using task because task is what we are passing. Now this is completed. Again, before saving it, we need to open that file. Which file? Again, same yeah, this file. And now we don't need to read it, we need to write it. So write, and again same thing, and now JSON dot dump. If you are seeing it first time, simply dumps everything, means saves everything. Task, that's getting a call, sorry. And this dumps take three, you can go through this complete thing, or else I will explain you in very short. So three things is, first, what needs to be done? Dump. So first thing needs to be done means first thing you need to save is our data, which is coming from the task itself. Then where we need to dump it? In that file, because task file in a write mode. And then the last one is, uh, this last one is not important, but I suggest you always do it, is indentation, means indent. So I need to do it in the indent of 4. It's beautification, nothing else. Human readable form using indent is beautification means human readable form, or else it will save in a single line. If you are hitting 100 times the post call and creating 100 tasks, it will be creating in a single line, which is not human readable. That is known as beautification. Any JSON form is beautified, means human readable form. Simple, as simple as that. So we have created this. Now the last thing is, we need to return the status code, because all this definition, all this method is will be working on the post call. So many things are working under the post call. So now simply return, what we need to return is JSON JSONify, and we need to return the new task, or else it's up to you. You can return the complete task itself, so it will returning. So for example, we have taken ID1, ID2, and ID3 with learn React, so it will return everything if you go with this task. But if you want that user just added the one new task, so that task should be returning, so simply just return the new task here. Simple. It's up to you. You want to return the complete task, or else the only that task that user has immediately added. That's it. It's up to you all. And the status code will be 201, because if something's being created like your account or anything new added to the database, anything new we are creating, the status code is 201. The code is complete. Let's save it. If there's any error, we will fix it. Perhaps you forgot the comma. Where I have forgot the comma. Let me check. Line number. Okay. Let's start again. Line number 30. Okay, this is the issue with the T. It's not, we have forgotten the comma, it's the T. If not data, or title not in data. Simple. Okay, it started. So let's first empty this file. Let's save this also, resave it, reloading our server again, and that's it. Let's come over here. Let's hit the get call. Before we have the data, right now we don't have anything. It should return the empty array. Good. Let's create new, or else you can hit change the method also from here, but I prefer creating a new. You also do in the same way, because switching between the get and post will be much more easier. And then if you're not familiar how to make a post call in Postman, simply we have the same URL, or else you can type localhost also. It's the same. Localhost or 127.0.0.1:5000 is your localhost only. So either this or simply localhost. It will work one as the same. So let's go to the body, because we need to pass something. Initially it is none. We will go to the raw, then change this text as a JSON, and then let's create our JSON in the same form. It is required title, in your case whatever you have name it, and outside colon, and obviously this is a string, this is a text, it is a form of string, so don't forget the double quotes. And we are learning Flask, so learn Flask. This will be a task. Again here I am not passing the ID and not passing the done, the status of it. So let's see 201 comes or not. See here the 201 created is coming. The request has been fulfilled and the result and the new source been created. And if you see, we have written the new task with the ID one. The done state is obviously false. Let's go back to our task file, which is our temporary DB, and check. Voila. And see the indentation, it is an human readable form. In that form only it is coming in the Postman also, because Postman by default beautify the response. If not, there is a button you can hit on it to beautify the things. Now let's add two more tasks. Okay, so one is done. Let's learn React T and learn MongoDB, and let's hit. See, ID is changing. For that, ID is changed. Learn React, ID is changing. Means our logic is correct. I know it is correct, but for you all, I'm saying our logic is correct. See, the ID is 3 right now. Okay, let's go back to our get call. And once I hit this, we should see ID1, ID2, ID3 with learn Flask, learn React, and learn MongoDB. And all the three done, the status of it should be false. So let's hit it and see. Yeah, voila. The first one, learn Flask with ID1. The second one, learn React with ID2. And the third one with ID3, learn MongoDB. As simple as that. So let's move on to the comment section. Okay, so this was it. We have successfully created the get call and also the post call. So let me close this, and also if you see it shows here, the terminal shows here the post call and the get call. It is highlighting the post call in some other colors, and it might be different in yours and different in mine, and the get call in black color. Also it is flashing the status code. 201 is created, 200 is successful. So let's move on to the explanation. I think most of the part you already understand, but revisiting the things will be good. First thing first, Flask. Why Flask? Why we are using Flask? Simply it's used to build our API server, and also it gives us the request. This is request method which help us to read data, send data to the client. Client means end users. Obviously, the system they are using, the end user system is known as client. We are creating server, we are a backend. Right now, we are developing a backend APIs. So that request will hold put call, post call, delete call, get call, etc. JSONify, again, why use JSONify? Converts Python object like a dictionary or list. In our case, we have used list into a JSON for API response. That is the role of JSONify. I already explained you, but I'm repeating myself again for a revisit of each and every component methods or functions we have used it. Again, the JSON, the word JSON we have used, we have imported this JSON. So here if you see json.load, so that is to read and write JSON files, because we have created, we are playing around working with JSON task.json file. So we need to obviously read the file, write the file means update the file, and also go through all the data. So that JSON, that library give us the power to read and write the JSON file. Simple. And OS is simply nothing, just to check that task.json exists or not. That's why we have imported the OS. If you're familiar with Python, that's all very basic stuffs. So moving on to the next thing, this app equals to Flask parenthesis underscore underscore name underscore underscore. So we need to create an instance of the Flask. This app is the instance of the Flask. Simply, this app is holding everything inside the Flask, everything inside that library, every power of that library in simple terms. So we have created that instance. Now with the help of this instance app, we will be creating our application or backend server or APIs or XYZ. Simple. Again, the next thing is task underscore file is simply the variable which will be holding our temporary database task.json. Simple. That's no very deep explanation for it. So next is this def, means the function load task. So first thing first, it's check the file exists or not. So this is the logic, line number 10 and 11. If not, it will return an empty list or empty array. And in Python, array is different, list is different. So here the appropriate thing is to call it as list. So these two lines does that. And otherwise, read the task from the JSON file. So that's why read the task. We are doing reading that task file. Obviously, this is a variable holding that file, and returning json.load because we need to read the JSON. That's why this JSON is being used, dot load, and again the file in the read mode. Simple. It's no rocket science over here. Now, next thing, save under those task. Simply save and update the task list back to the JSON file. Simple it does, and indent 4 makes it human readable. Simple. That's nothing more to it. Nothing. Now again, this is very simple. What it does when a user hit on a get, and the end URL is slash task, or the route is slash task, then we are saying that send the data in a form of JSON response with the status code of 200. Simple. This is, that means the method is get, the user is hitting a slash task, obviously with the domain name, in our case it is 127 or the localhost slash task. What we are doing is returning it into as a JSON response with a status code of 200. That's what our get call is, and what it will be revealing all the tasks inside the task.json. Simple. Now moving on to the post call. Again, first thing first, we are loading this, and I have already explained this, but again I will be going touching those elements over here. So first thing first is first this data and title. If it is not there, okay, that I didn't showed you na. So the server is on. Let's remove this. Let's remove everything and let's hit it. Let's see. Okay, we need to have, or else it will say unsupported. Okay, let's see. Post call hit. See, 400 bad request. Title is required. This is what we have actually written in the code because the title is required here. This is what it is hiding because first initially it is checking for the data or not and. We don't need to check both data or data and title. We need to only check if it is title, go ahead. If it is there isn't data, go ahead. So that's why again you all comment down if we only require the title, why I am checking the data is there or not, why this line is required. If I remove this or condition, not data or, will this title, will this two lines work? Means this three things, not data or, is required or not. Simple. You all comment in doubt, will this code work or not if I remove simple these three things. And why it is, if you know why it is there and why it is necessary, I've just coded there, just explain me in the comment. This is a little homework, very little bit. Okay. So I think this point has been clear. This next thing is to create a new task with the ID automatically setting as a new IDs. Obviously, this logics works. We have already tested a title, which is the task from the user input, and the done is for the by default it will be false because every task newly created task is not done. So the flag, the boolean value is always false. In next video when we will be doing put and delete, there will we will be updating this values also. If you want, we can update the title value also. Okay, next thing, sorry, next thing is task dot append. So it simply adds a new task to the list because task is a list. And the next line is save. So this is saving list into task.json, which is our temporary database we have created. This one, this file, and the return JSONify is to just return this new task with the status code of 201, which is created status code. And this line is required for the developers or the client side. Simple. And again, this if underscore underscore name underscore main is if you want to run the Flask application. This is required with app.run because app is the instance of the Flask. And debug true, it will give us the so this all things will run our application, plus it will auto reloads when I save. I do control s, you see the server was auto reloading. Also it will give the detail level of error message. As simple as that. Simple. If I've done with get and post, in upcoming live for the same project, we will be going for the update and delete. Update is bit trickier. We will be seeing that, and also how we'll be deleting anything or updating anything from our temporary database. If you have any doubt or any query, you can comment down. I will be there for a few minutes. Did yeah. Yeah, that's it for today's life. Keep coding, keep building, keep pushing limits. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More projects coming soon. This is NM signing off. Till then, bye.